Today we're going to talk about a phrase that every newbie in the spiritual path eventually will learn. To know, to dare, to will, and to keep silent. Also known as to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. Both of them are correct, but in different capacities. This is a sort of magical formula. The first part is always to know, and the last part is to keep silent. The two parts in the middle can be interchanged. And because I'm out of things to talk about today, and I have no real thing planned, I'm going to rant about this one little line for 10 minutes. Well, more like 9. So, this line roughly translates to the formula used to practice magic. And this is also known as the 4 powers of the Sphinx or the 4 powers of the Magus, depending on where you hear it from. And let's look at this piece by piece. So, in the occult, which is the occult sciences, is one of the fuller titles. We need to know the secrets of the universe in order to implement them. The will is you need to align your will with the universe. To dare is to dare to perform the operations in question. And to keep silent is roughly to keep your fucking mouth shut and not tell anyone. You can do all the magic you want, but if you're posting shit on social media and going, oh, I did this ritual, it might not fucking work, especially in modern day. Regardless of what all people want to say about how open they are, they're really not. People are really not prepared for if someone is actually a pagan or a magician or an occultist or even a New Age light worker. They're not prepared for that. Keep that to yourself. Karen the coffee maker does not need to know that you just fucking summoned the archdemon Beelzebub in your spare bedroom last night, Becky. She doesn't. This stuff is not for your fucking knitting circle, Grandma. This stuff is meant to be secret. It's a cult for a reason. And originally, when I first got into this, I thought the silence bit was kind of a false flag. Like I kind of thought the silence thing was kind of a, oh yeah, no, they did that to keep themselves from burning. And then I learned that it was the rich elite in the Renaissance period who were doing the magic. What does that tell you? The rich elite were doing the magic and worshiping God through the conjuration of angels so that they could invoke the angels and do his will more effectively. That's very interesting, isn't it? And they were keeping silent even back then. So, working backwards, to dare is possibly the easiest and least practiced part of this section. To dare effectively means to dare, aka practice the magic, and to dare to believe that it was true, or to dare and go out and do things in accordance with your will, such that it will come to pass. To dare effectively means set it, cast the thing, go out into the world, make your will become manifest through thine actions, which is a fairly hard concept, because sometimes you cast for things that you don't even know how to manifest. And at that point, it's up to the higher forces to kind of nudge you or push you, depending on how dense you are and how much energy you threw into it, into the right direction. I've had a couple of spells where one time I asked for a teacher. I asked for a very specific kind of teacher in a thing I was doing at the time. It was kind of a dumb thing, so I did a sigil for it. And this was a proof of concept for, can you get this? And this person, I ended up meeting this person completely on a whim. And it's this weird thing where he offered to teach me this skill, and I didn't take him up on it because at the time I didn't register that was a thing that I had cast for, even through sigil form. So I willed, but I did not dare. And that's kind of the whole thing. Going back one more step to will, this is the part where people get kind of sort of hung up. This is the part where you are casting the magic, if my understanding is correct. This isn't I'm going to cast a big, long, magical spell that's going to be super awesome, and it's going to take me 2 weeks. No, it doesn't need to be super complicated. You can just have a ritual can just be a piece of paper you have drawn a sigil on and meditate upon for 15 minutes before setting on fire. That is the most complicated a ritual needs to be. It doesn't even need to be that complicated. I'm overcomplicating how complicated things need to be because that is the nature of the first part of this. To know, which is actually a hindrance. You need to know certain basic things. You need to know what you're going to do. And you need to know thyself. And to not run down the Oracle of Delphi, I'm going to quote Sun Tzu. Know thyself, and know the enemy, and you fear not the result of 1,000 battles. If you know what you're up against, and you know yourself, you will know the result of every conceivable fight you get in. You can apply the art of war to any situation you have conflict in. I highly recommend that if you're an occultist, or especially if you're just in business and trying to get a job, I highly recommend you read The Art of War, because it will teach you battlefield strategy. Are you going to be in ancient China doing battlefield strategy? Probably not. I don't think we have time machines yet on this mortal plane. That being said, I don't particularly think it matters. Read the book. It's a good book. It will teach you how to approach situations if you apply the book to your life. There's a couple pieces in there that are really important to know. But here's the interesting thing. Most occultists read two types of book: occult literature and philosophy. While they only read these two types of books, and I'm generalizing here, of course. I know quite a few occultists, and I know quite a few of them who read fantasy books, cyberpunk books, erotic novels. But the fact remains, if you apply the philosophy in the books, if you will and dare to practice the philosophy, your life will get better. Because philosophy isn't just something that people came up with on the spot. Philosophy is, if it's good philosophy, a well-tested set of ideas that you have seen rigorously ripped apart by other philosophers. I mean, The Art of War is a good idea for a book, but if it was a terrible book, we wouldn't be talking about it today. That is how you know something has gotten a lot of good knowledge in it, if it stands the test of time. And this phrase, to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent, clearly is one of those, because this isn't the only meaning behind it. I didn't give you the only meaning behind it. That's the entire point. There is no one meaning to these wonderful phrases, and they have endless applications. The only thing that you need to really kind of grasp is that if you wanted to attribute elemental correspondences, you could make the claim that this is just the manifestation formula of air, fire, water, earth. There's more. There's more. I'm not going to list them all. I don't have the time, and you don't have the listening ears. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment in the description below. If you really enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends. Really helps me out. Thanks. Bye-bye.